So very anymore. First of all, thank you everyone to come to call this traffic and we present at Omnichain by Dojima. Today we have some amazing panelists and they are going to talk about security and a little bit about ZK. So I'm going to hand over the mic to each of the panelists to introduce themselves.
Hi guys, good evening. My name is Sankalp. I'm a head of growth at a company called Shields. We are a security auditing company where basically we take this as a labs where we are developing automation projects that performs that basically equip the devs to make their own to do their own audits. The first flagship product that we built is called Solidarity Scan. I guess everyone know about it. It's an automation scanning tool that performs the scanning of the smart contracts, allows the devs to fix the vulnerabilities on the fly, and once they do it, they probably can go ahead and publish their own audit reports. So that's pretty much about the platform of myself.
Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you for making it through the traffic. My name is Jose Paul. I'm a product manager with Cool Audits. Cool Audits is a Web3 security company. We do smart contract auditing. We also create security tools to prevent or protect you from hacks and scams. So we have a couple of products, CoolCheck and CoolAI, which we will be covering hopefully somewhere during the questions.
Yeah, so since the introductions are started, getting into the conversation. Sorry, and basically you guys, because this is going to be a two-way communication. We can start with a very simple, to create a base for audience who don't know about audits and security stuff, especially in Web3. So we'll start with a very simple question. What are the major challenges in Web3 when it comes to security? Probably we can start with Sankalp.
Right. I mean, I'm coming from an automation background, so hence the automation. So I see a security on the two-way side of the tables. Number one, on the one side, you have auditing companies like Quill, Shields, and few others as well. But on the automation side, the market is yet to tap, where the other side, the people are like individual auditors, researchers, devs, small startups, who still want to and should learn about the security as well. So one of the major challenges that personally what we are solving and what we are pursuing as a core vision from the Solidity Scan perspective is to to allow the devs and these individual folks to still play in security without depending on the multiple auditing companies.
Nice, and maybe Joshi would like to add.
Yeah, so according to our point of view, what we are observing within the market, security challenges comes in different shapes within Web3, right? You have, from a protocol's perspective, you need to keep your user funds safe. From a user's perspective, since the money is your money, right? It's ownable. It's not like putting money in a bank account. It's more like putting money in your wallet, right? So you don't want to get pickpocketed. From that perspective, as an end user also, there are security challenges because Web3 is riddled with scams, and there are a lot of incidents that we see when somebody clicks a wrong link and next thing you know, the money is gone. So there are different challenges within Web3 when it comes to security, and we are trying to solve both of them. Largely, we are categorizing it into hacks and scams, and we are taking different approaches to make sure that both these challenges are solved. So for hacks, it's pretty evident that you need to have your audits done. Now, current ecosystem is built in such a way that everybody, once their entire application is done, you go to an auditor, right, and get an audit report. But at that point, it's the auditor who's doing all ensuring the best practices. But we are trying to build tools which brings, similar to Solidity Scan, what they're doing, trying to build the auditing tools for the developers so that at the layer one itself,
Correct.
If the problem of security is solved.
Now, so then I will start with, more difficult question. And this is more of a business question than a technical one. So I the way you are smiling, I think both of you have already understood where it is going. So you see, every project does audit, right? Especially rich project also does audits. But why I keep seeing audited projects getting hacked? Like you have so many, I don't know the numbers, it's like in millions, and every time a project gets hacked, and then it go back trace back whether it was audited or not. We get to know like it had been audited by most of the famous auditing companies. So like you both are in this field. So first, maybe you can give some enlighten us what goes wrong there. You know what I'm saying, and how it could be prevented, or maybe there are some other approaches can be taken to help secure.
Definitely. So I'll take that question first. So when it comes to security, right, within Web3 ecosystem, one of the challenges is that there is always a new way to hack things, right? So a bunch of measures are already taken when the audits are done to ensure that most of the known or all of the known attack vectors are covered. But Web3 is in such a nuanced and young stage that people are figuring out new ways to do things. So it's a place where we don't really have a playbook, right? When each time when a hack happens, something new is happening. The previous ones have already been plugged in, but something new is happening, right? At that point, there is a small lag between the innovation in the hacks that are happening and the security practices that are happening, right? So, which is why at Quill Audits, we are using AI models, which are now being trained on these kind of hacks that are happening, and we are learning from these hacks so that next time when we do the audit, we have that covered.
So another question to you. I understood if X type of hack has already happened, then maybe like it's the auditors can check for those code, that type of code in the smart contracts. How do we ensure that like new type of hacks something? So what steps we can take, or as a community, to even be more mindful towards it, right? Like as soon as hack happens, something we can build which can immediately let us know that this has hack can be prevented, or stop as quickly as possible. Because I understand your perspective is that so much new code is being written, new type of design patterns are being developed. So for auditors, it's challenging to audit. Now, my point is, we developers will keep building, and it's F3 industry keeps evolving very quickly. So what could be the points as a business or as a developer we can keep in mind, so that even if the hack is happening, we can somehow stop it as quickly as possible or something. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are absolutely making sense. So there are critical metrics within each kind of application, right? For example, if you're taking a DEX, there are liquidity pools. So if you see a liquidity pool draining so fast that it is not a normal transaction that is going through, then you could have a kill switch implemented. That is something that could totally be useful. So you obviously need to have your own monitoring setup. So security doesn't end at the audit report. Security is a constant process, right? Post audit, you deployed, you're out there in the public, people are using, people are putting their funds into your applications. Then you need to monitor that, right? It's not like any Web2 industry is not doing that. That culture of monitoring is not really present amongst a lot of applications currently. So monitoring is something that is important, and we at Quill Audits, we are already have a small beta of something like this ready as a Quill Monitor. So we enable people to have a kill switch within their application. So according to me, it's two-step process. Have a kill switch and an immediate DAO voting mechanism to do what next. So the community takes the kill switch, pauses the protocol when an attack is happening. When you can front run an attack by having the appropriate monitoring applications run on your protocol. This enable the kill switch, and next immediate thing is a community vote about what should happen next. So the communities don't have a mechanism for that as of now. DAOs don't really have a immediate meeting or a panel that is called in case of an emergency. So something like that, a mechanism should also, according to me and our vision of how security should be, that is what my take is.
Very interesting point, and thank you very much for that. But I'm such like you can add point from more of like your from an automation perspective.
So, I mean,
Like the question is twofold. One is existing threats, and the second one is like the new threats is coming in, and what are the
yeah, so I'll take to the first, on the initial part when you asked that, even after audits, the project still got rugged, right? So we need to understand one thing, that audits is a pretty subjective matter here, right? It all depends on how an auditor is reading that code.
Yeah.
It all depends on their skill set as well. If they are well equipped with their own, understanding the complete logics of the project, and also about that, what potentially might occur. For example, let's say if a burn function is public, it may be an exploitable vulnerability for someone, it may not be for someone else as well, right? So it is always good to do the multiple checks. That's the first part of the question to answer. Second, if you can repeat that.
So the second question is like, like Jose was saying, research is taking at a very fast pace in Web3. This is the reason why you see newer hacks coming in, because the auditors, they don't know about this. So what could be the ways that, on Sol Energy Scan, for example, you would have implemented something like that, which can either some sort of monetary system or any system which can not prevent, but at least stop that as quickly as possible.
So, I think the two phases will come in from a learning perspective. So, really appreciate on the Quill on this part, because they launched Quill Academy, right? Where they are, making some courses and teaching the community to learn about some security checks. This is very important, and I definitely should learn about this. Why? Because so if I talk about from the Web2 security landscape, security and audits was always a very niche topic, right? Not everyone. So to pursue that, it has to come from inside. I should learn all these things and all. But in Web3, what I've seen is, since it is a community-driven, not a stakeholder-driven, people are themselves taking the initiative to drop some narratives and thoughts for that particular set of crowds, so that whatever knowledge they've earned, it should transfer to multiple tiers as well. And yeah, from the Solidity Scan's perspective, we have a tool called Quick Scan. It's a sub-product of Solidity Scan. So it's a rug pull detector, right? The vulnerability patterns which have infused in the Solidity Scan main tool, the same is working for the Quick Scan as well. And it's a threat intelligence tool that gives the threat score as well as the security score. As of now, that particular tool is well matured to be put it out as a security layer. People are using it. For example, the 3 chains here are already live on Nordic, STC, and Reef. So if you go to the explorers, if you happen to see a smart contract, any random verified smart contract on testnet, mainnet, you'll be able to see the verified security badge of Solidity Scan over there. Now, someone will want to see the complete vulnerability. They have to be redirected on our website, and the same story will go on.
So, summarizing the points that you both shared is that making new tools, looking at what's happening with the pool and getting information as real time as possible. And then having different types of ways to stop that. For example, Joe said, I really like that actually, having a kill switch, which is not recommended for all. It's not possible for all the protocol, because you might understand we have to let go of the key, accept keys for a liquidity protocol when we launch. So it might not be possible for that. But the other part, which was like a DAO-based decision making immediately after attack, which has been stopped by a cheat switch, sounds like a decent actually design. So now coming to, since I talked about pools and attacks, I want both of you to probably share some of the recent interesting hacks that we saw specifically in the DeFi space. Let's say lending via borrowing platform, or a DEX?
Yeah, I mean, so we constantly write some blogs specifically on those, I mean, and then we market it as well, of course, on those hacks where the platform itself, has figured out the vulnerability. The last I remember was Shadowfi. I think I'm not able to remember the month when it has happened, but they lost roughly 4.5 million of SDF tokens. USD, it was roughly $10,000. But I mean, so when we scanned the whole the smart their smart contract, we were able to figure out that they made the bug function public. So definitely, it's gonna happen, right? Another I remember, I think, is a very famous. It has happened in the end of July. Not able to figure it out the name again, but it was a very famous hack. We again, scan the whole smart contract and figure out all these vulnerabilities are pretty much public. So that's the one thing. So we constantly write blogs. I think Quill also does that. So it's pretty much open and open to read to everyone.
Maybe Juice, you can share some interesting hacks that you came across there.
Yeah, the most interesting one lately that has come up with a very audacious hacker, right, was Kaiwaswap. So
40 million.
So they not only stole $40 million of money, but the guy had the audacity to come and say that, give me the protocol, let me run it, right? Imagine somebody comes to your house, steals the money that is kept in the locker and tells you, I'll give you half your money back, but write the house in my name. Like, the hackers out there are getting really audacious, but a much more prevalent problem that goes undiscussed within DeFi are scam tokens and honeypots. Yeah, so if you, in 2022 alone, it's not a small problem. In 2022,
Honestly, that's once readers stay, that access to the real hacks, the hacks that we know about.
yeah, on a daily basis, there is about, we've been running QuillCheck honeypot monitor, and on a daily basis, we find out at least around 700 honeypot tokens, 700 to 1,000 honeypot tokens. These are wallets which are losing money. Somebody has invested into this token, and somewhere along the line, the owner pulled the plug, and the money is gone, right? So in 2022 alone, 2 million wallets were affected by rug pulls, which was the reason why we decided to create QuillCheck. QuillCheck enables you to understand what are the centralization risks within the smart contract. What can the owner do? Like, are there dumping risk because there is a mint function which the owner still has access to? Or there are multiple different ways in which a token which is not a honeypot, which is not a scam token. For people who are not familiar with what honeypot tokens are, it's a token that you can only buy, but you cannot sell it, right? We tell you what are the risks associated with a certain token. You can't just paste your token's contract address, and we'll tell you these are the centralization risks. Now that's from a smart contract point of view. Now rug pulls don't just happen from a smart contract point of view. Rug pulls also happen because somebody pulled all the liquidity out, right? You create a token, you create some hype using Twitter and all your social channels, the token price goes up, and then there's only one liquidity provider who is the project's owner, and he pulls the liquidity, and now there is no exchange value for your token. Whatever you're holding is, as they call it, a shitcoin, right? So we enable you not only from a code point of view, but we also tell you from a market point of view. For example, what percentage of the liquidity is held by the creators of the project? What percentage of liquidity has been burned, which gives you some kind of an assurance that it will not be rugged? And how many liquidity providers are actually there for this particular token? So if you see only one liquidity provider and that liquidity is not burned and it is held by a project's owner, run. You are most likely going to get rugged. So I think these are the two specific issues that I would like to answer with.
Thank you very much. Now, this is slightly a unrelated question to security, but I think this is going to be in the future of how audits be done or shared. So, we have been listening to this term called zero knowledge proofs. For those who don't know about zero knowledge proof, it's a way of, attesting or sharing an information without exposing the fact. For example, like you want to share someone, what is your, you are about 80 years old. You don't have to give your date of birth. You can share a ZK proof of your age, and service provider can verify the proof that you are above an age bracket. That's a very simple example. Now, this is the concept. It can be used in multiple different use cases. I would love to know that from panelists today, if they have some opinion about how and where it could be used in terms of security and audits.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not too eligible to answer the ZK, to be honest, but from a solidity scan standpoint, or I think, Jose might also agree on this statement that security companies essentially work on the smart contract layer, and ZK, probably go on the transaction layer. So even, I mean, if I individually talk about the platform which we are building and which we have, is as of now solving is not a brainer for us to, if the ZK is coming in the near future, because is only the reason why, because we are working on a smart contract layer and we are securing that.
Yeah.
So the ZK's main essential idea is to scale up the transactions basically. So that's my take on much.
So where does ZK and security come together, right? Now that is a big question. To be honest, I am not well equipped. I'm not the best equipped to answer that, but a couple of ways in which I could see things coming together is, let's say, we are definitely going to see some kind of permissioned layers coming up within the crypto ecosystem, because when TradFi moves in, they are not going to be playing ball with the open, decentralized nature of crypto and Web3, right? So there are going to be proprietary code that they might not want to open it up to the public, but they still want the public to be assured that this is audited and secure. So that is one place where I think a ZK proof could help, as in when you are interacting with a contract, that we have verified that without even knowing the contract, they are assured that, okay, this has been audited by XYZ, multiple platforms, and yeah, that is one way I see it. But ZK in itself, the large applications that are going to open up. Now, another challenge that's going to come with ZK, to circle back to my earlier point.
I was coming to that.
To circle back to my earlier point, it opens up a new can of worms, right? So we don't know yet. We haven't seen many high-profile hacks happening. So there will be new security challenges that needs to be solved.
Correct.
So looking forward to it.
It's a continuous process, right? I mean, when a new tech will come in, it has to be improvised.
I think actually you already answered. So I was going to connect to that. With both of your opinions, it looked to me that ZK is sort of new technology as well for auditors, right? I mean, now the auditors would have to, because the codes are getting into production, right? Now ZK videos are coming in this next market. We will see a lot of these products. So probably auditors will have to prepare themselves to, have an understanding. And the second point that you mentioned is definitely very valid. I also see where the, buzzwords like RWA, TradFi, this is where ZK can also help for auditors as well. So that, Eric, friend, with these questions, I would love to conclude. I hope you got some, knowledge from the panel today about general security problems in DeFi. And also, and I wanted to bring in another ZK. So to get your opinion from the auditors and the companies who are working in audit fee, that where they see, ZK used in this domain. So thank you very much. My name is Vikram. I'm co-founder at Hyperside ID project. It is similar to Polygon ID. but in Cosmos ecosystem, that's the easiest way for me to exceed. And thank you very much.